All right. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to Simpler Trading YouTube live session. My name's Melissa, otherwise known as Mel, and I'm doing a quick Q&A session about my upcoming class that is tomorrow. Actually, so excited to teach this class on how I was able to make $500 a day trading SPX. For those of you who missed the webinar or didn't catch the replay, I just want to do a quick recap, a little bit about my story and why I had to make $500 a day, a little bit of how I did it, what I learned in that journey. Now, I'm not going into detail, even on this Q&A, the specifics, the things that are going to be taught in the class tomorrow, right? But I do want to give you an idea of what you're going to get out of the class tomorrow, as well as what you can expect in the live trading sessions that I'm committed to teaching and trading with you live 4 days in January from opening bell to closing bell, really diving into the strategy that I use and all the nuances that happen that we can only really teach during live markets. So, super excited about this entire class and live trading session. So, a little bit about me. I've been investing type trading basically all my life, all of my adult life. I was into economics, studied economics, always been interested in the stock market, and so have been investing in equity and things like that all of my adult life. And I'm 53, FYI. I started trading options as a rather than just buying equity. I started doing that about 8 years ago. I initially started out, didn't know the first thing about options, didn't even know what an option was. I took some basic courses and learned enough to get started. And then I was like, hey, I kinda like this options trading, and happened that I was on YouTube one day and happened across a John Carter YouTube video, and that sent me to Simpler Trading, and I was a student at Simpler Trading for several years before I started teaching traders alongside Trendy John in the Trendy Room, and now in the SPX room at Simpler Trading. So that's a little bit of my trading journey. As far as my family goes, I've been married to my husband, Chris, for 35 years. We have two awesome kids, three amazing grandparents. Uh, did hopefully we're still live. It showed that we lost connection. Uh-oh. Um, can y'all still see my screen and hear me? Check, check. Ooh, I'm not sure. Sorry, guys, if you can hear me. Okay. All right, Lorna, thank you. Sorry. Okay, cool. Anyway, my elderly parents also live with me. They moved in about 7 or 8 years ago, and my husband and I support them. Long story short, I got an awesome family that I love very much, but in October of 2024, my husband, who had been the breadwinner in our family, my our entire marriage, came home on September 24th, 2024 and said, "I've been let go from my job." I was like, "What?" No warning, no idea, just boom, gone. And me being a planner, the first thing I think, of course, we had retirement accounts and all of that, but we're in our mid 50s. It's not time to retire yet, and I just didn't want to live off of our savings or our retirement. So I was like, okay, let's figure out how much money I need to make trading to replace your income, like the bare minimum to pay our bills and to survive. And so that's what I did. And I came up with an amount. And basically, it was $2,000 a week is what I needed to make to maintain the same lifestyle, all of that, pay all the bills, et cetera, et cetera. And I was ready to go. I knew from trading that um, it's not the safest way, but the quickest way, in my experience, had been trading SPX to make, a certain amount each day, uh, in the course of a couple of trades, it could be done. I knew that, and so I was like, "Alright, I'm gonna dive in, day trade SPX." I took money from, my savings account, $25,000 actually. I opened up a completely separate account than what I had been trading out of in the trendy room. You see, in the trendy room, I've always been the trader that resets my account to $5,000 and then trades it up and doubles it to 10,000 and then goes back to 5,000. And I've just done that over and over so that I can relate to people with small accounts. That's how I had always traded at Simpler in the trendy room, but I knew that to replace income for my family, I was gonna have to trade differently. So I took $25,000, I put it in a completely separate account, and I set out to trade SPX. I wanted to average $500 a day. That way, if I didn't hit my goal each day, maybe I would still average the 2,000 a week that I needed to pay bills. So, first month, it was so inconsistent. I ended the month green, but it wasn't anywhere near the $2,000. And so I had to sit down with my journal and I had to figure out what was going on, right? Why was I so inconsistent? And what I came up with, I was chasing candles. I was having reactive emotional entries, probably due to the pressure I was feeling. I was trading middle of the ranges. I was ignoring everything, basically like only buy and buy zones and only sell and sell zones and those things. I was trading middles of ranges. I had no defined invalidation. My stops, I was moving my stops with no sense of consistency. I had no confirmation process of it was a zone. Just because price moves into a zone, is it truly a trade? Is it ready to, for instance, go long from a buy zone? I had no process for that. And I was using inconsistent sizing. I wasn't staying consistent with my sizing. So those were the things that I pinpointed I was doing wrong that was causing inconsistency in my trading of SPX. So I knew I had to fix that and I had to fix it quick, right? So this is what I did. The market doesn't care about my opinion. I was at the time very overly bullishly biased. All I wanted to do was buy calls. I was thinking more of a swing trader and considering all the things that I use for swing trading. And I just decided, hey, day trading SPX is different. I got to know where I'm a buyer and I got to know where I'm a seller, and I got to be ready to trade those levels and have no bias. So, the rules had to be simple and repeatable. Here are those rules. Only trade from predefined zones. Wait for confirmation. Scale out, locking in profits quickly. Remain flexible to trade in both directions. And set a max loss per day, a max loss per day. If I hit that max loss per day, no more day trade in SPX. I wanted to come in the next day, both emotionally sound and financially sound in my account. So I set a max loss per day. My daily routine looks something like this every day. I'm going to find intraday buy and sell zones. I use Fibonacci's and candlestick structures to select targets. I wait for a price to enter a zone before ever considering a trade. Then I wait for my three-step confirmation process before executing a trade. And in the class, I'll go through that exact confirmation process, but it is 3 steps for me. Then I execute the trade and manage at targets and stops. That is my routine day in and day out. Now, what is what how am I going to instill this process into your brain if you are someone that wants to have supplemental income, or maybe you're saving for a car or a vacation and you have a target goal, maybe your goal's $200 a day. All of that really doesn't matter. The number doesn't really matter. What matters is that you have a goal, you have a process, and you stick to it day after day, right? So the way that I'm going to instill this process into your brain is through the SPX strategy class. That is tomorrow at 12 o'clock Central to 4 o'clock Central, 4 hours. I am going to go over in detail every step of my process. All right. Every step of my process. It will be a live class. Of course, it will be recorded. So if you purchase the class, you will have the recording and you can watch it as many times as you want to. Now, what will you learn in the class? How to manually identify buy and sell zones, how to find targets to scale out of trades, how I manage my risk, how to set profit goals and max loss limits. We're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to talk a lot about risk to reward. Just because a trade sets up and just because I get confirmation doesn't mean it's a good trade if the risk to reward ratio isn't good, right? I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the confirmation strategy that I use for entries. And of course, I'm going to talk about the trendy edge indicator and how to use those automated buy and sell zones if you're not the person that likes to manually find them on your own. I love charting and I love finding the zone. So I do it regardless, but some people don't. And we're including an indicator called the trendy edges. The trendy edges identify those buy and sell zones for you. Speaking of the trendy edges, here they are. These are actually monthly edges. The lower edge represents a buy zone or a demand zone. The upper edge represents a sell zone or a supply zone. And they work, yes, they work on TOS and TradingView. Don't worry, TOS and TradingView. The indicators are available for both of those platforms. The great thing about the trendy edges, guys, this is an SPX class, right? So we're going to be focused on SPX. But this strategy that I'm teaching you, it works really for anything that you want to trade. It works for day trading and it works for swing trading and it works for leap trading. And these trendy edges also work for intraday trading, swing trading, and leap trading. And as a bonus, they work on futures, forex, equities, everything that has a chart, you're going to get a trendy edge on that chart. So even though the class is about SPX and day trading as a bonus with these trendy edges. It's also going to give you buy and sell levels on all the other tickers that you like to trade and give you different time frame zones as well. As an example, here's a gold trade that we took this week. We actually entered the trade on last Friday, trimmed, and I exited right here. All right, this was based, see this yellow edge? This is a lower trendy edge, a buy zone for a weekly buy zone. So I bought right here, trimmed, and exited. You can see, I mean, that's good profits on that trade. 2 contracts, 500 plus there and 900 plus there. Trendy edges, super duper great value. What else are you going to get in the class? You're going to get live trading sessions with me all day, not the first couple hours, all day. Okay? All day, open to close. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be taking 52 trades in that day and that's all we're going to do. No, I'm going to bring you into my brain, my thought process. I'm going to talk through all of the candles that I'm seeing on the SPX charts live. I'm going to talk about the process. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to be there for you. Not one day, not 2 days, not 3, but 4 if you choose the elite package, okay? So, that is really the equivalent, guys, of 15 hours per week just in those live sessions, all right? So, that's like our classes are 4 hours. That's like 3 extra classes per week where I'm going to be talking through the entire process, showing you trades live. And hey, guess what? After you set through the class, and then you get to watch it on live screens and listen to the entire process as it's happening. I believe that's where we learn the best as traders. Because I'm going to be honest with you. My goal for this class and these live sessions are not for me to give you alerts so you can make $500 a day on SPX. That's not my goal. I'm just going to be honest. My goal is that you are able to learn this process from start to finish so that you, as a trader, can replicate the process and trade it with confidence on your own or in the SPX room with all of us that are there. Doesn't matter. But my goal is not for you to make $500 a day or not for me to show you trade alerts to make $500 a day. My goal is to teach you how to fish so you will be a better trader, not a better alert follower. All right? Just being honest. Okay? So, live trading sessions, super important to me. Here's the cost. If you already own the Trendy Edges indicator, you can call customer support. I'll get you that number here in a second. But the basic package, that's for you traders that you just want the 4-hour class and you want the Trendy Edges indicator. It's going to be $697 if you order it before tomorrow. After tomorrow, these prices go up. You see where that says value? I'm going to guess that's probably about what you're going to pay for it after tomorrow. So, if this is something that interests you, you're running out of time. We didn't have a lot of time for you to think about this. With this webinar being on Wednesday, we're doing a Q&A now on Friday, class is Saturday. So, if you want to take advantage of the best price, that's going to be right now before the Saturday class, okay? $697 for the basic package. That includes the class tomorrow and the Trendy Edges indicator. If you want to join me for 2 of the live trading sessions, plus the SPX class and the Trendy Edges indicator, you would want the Pro package. That's going to be $897 if you order it before tomorrow. That is a $1,394 value. If you don't order it before tomorrow, you're going to pay somewhere around that price. And then the Elite package, if you want to spend all 4 live trading sessions with me, plus the Trendy Edges indicator, plus the strategy class, $997 is the Elite package, $1,794 value. If you don't already have the Trendy Edges indicator, you can click the link that Lorna has put in the chat. That will take you to this page where you can choose your package. If you already have the Trendy Edges indicator, the support team, the phone lines are open and they have a special price for you because you will get a discount because you already own the Edges indicator. And if you just cannot afford it right now, guess what? We work with PayPal Credit. They have a program where you can get 0% interest for 6 months. 6 months, 0% interest. So let's just say on the Elite package, it's $1,000. That means if you can make $150 to $200 a month, no interest, that's about what your payment would be, but you would get all 4 classes and, of course, the class or all 4 live trading sessions, the class and the Edges indicator, okay? So you can take advantage of that through PayPal Credit. The live trading teaching session schedule looks like this: January 13th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central, January 15th, January 20th. Oops, that's on here twice. Obviously, it's only happening once, sorry. January 20th and January 22nd, all 4 of those days. Can I show the indicator again? You bet. Um, let's see. This is the indicator. The bottom line is identifying through candlestick structure, other things, but level of demand or a buy zone. And the upper edge is identifying a playing field of supply or a sell zone. Uh, uh, in the trendy room, we are supply and demand traders. And so, of course, that's what I'm going to use. Even in intraday trading, SPX as well. But here's the different indicators that are different levels. So these yellow edges, these are for trades you intend to be in for a week. Okay, this is a lower weekly edge and an upper weekly edge. The purple edges, these are monthly edges. So this is an upper monthly edge. On this chart, you can't see the lower monthly edge. And then this blue line right here is a yearly edge. So this is trades you intend to be in for a year or longer. Every edge time frame has a center edge, a mid edge, we call it, and basically it's an over under. So on this gold futures example, when I took this screenshot, which was I think Wednesday this week, uh, the over under for the week, as long as price can stay above this mid edge, we're looking to target the upper edge. Okay. So, yeah, we'll go into more detail in the class though, but that gives you an idea. All right, I'm going to get started here answering your questions. Please understand the Q&A is not about all of the details that I'm going to go over in the class, okay? So, I'm not going to teach the entire process here in this Q&A. That's what the class is for tomorrow. All right. So if you have a question, I am going to run through these. And if I skip your question, I promise I didn't mean to. Just type it in the chat again. All right. Awesome. Uh, Savings are not enough these days. That is the truth, the mouse. And I didn't want to use all my savings. 75% of trading is psychological. I would agree, but actually, I would say 90, at least 90% is psychological. And I have a huge passion to help traders understand that. All right. We will talk about that in class if there's traders in here that have been trading with me for 3, 4 years, and they'll tell you I am a firm believer that trading psychology is our biggest hurdle and one that I hope I can help you get better at. RT, why are the trendy zones accurate? What is it conceptually sound? They're identifying playing fields of supply and demand. I've been using them to trade for the last 3.5 years, and they just work really, really well. They're identifying buy blocks and sell blocks, basically, RT. So when price comes down into an area where buy orders have been left and they're sitting there, we're expecting a reaction off that area. That's why they work well. Um, Becoming trader, how do you find the ranges? I use a combination of candlestick structure, Fibonacci, some EMA work. It's just a whole process I'll explain during the class, but those are some of the things. Where candles top and bottom set line on 3 candle touches. I think you might be talking about when the edge indicator was showing. What's your position sizing method? We'll talk about that during the class. I am not going to say what mine is, but we will talk through it and I will give you the formula I believe is important to have for you to be successful in trading SPX. I believe that your position size, it's not just about what your account can afford, but it's what your emotions can afford to lose as well. All right, but we'll go into that in class. I use a set allocation amount. I don't, so let's pick $500 is my set allocation amount, or 1,000. It's a dollar amount. Okay, awesome. Yes, Ron, you can still sign up for the class. I believe there is a link here in the yep, in the chat. Thank you, Lorna, for doing that. The trendy edges do work on TradingView. They are available for TradingView and Toss. Yep, awesome. Very good. Mary Jane says, Melissa, is your class for me? I can't day trade. Is this class for me if I swing trade? Can't do 0 DTE. I like trendy edges. Maybe just by that. You just answered this question. I'm signing up. Thanks. Okay. I guess I answered it as you were asking it, Mary Jane. Look, this is a process, right? I used this process and what we're talking about to provide income for my family trading SPX, but I use this process for swing trading and leap trading as well. Paul, I think I explained how the trendy edges are formed. Just a FYI for those of you wondering, these edges print automatically. There is no updates to them. You don't have to worry about them expiring. Once you own them, you own them. Okay, there's never, okay, let me say this. since I have owned the Trendy Edges, there's never been an update. Okay. Uh, yeah. So becoming trader. So after those 4 live days, we do have a room here at Simpler Trading that myself and my trading partner, Trendy John, run. And we have 2 awesome ambassadors that are also in there, Jasper and CJC, but and then a slew of other great traders, SPX traders in that room that we trade live every day. All right. But during this class and those live sessions, I will be solely committed just to the people that purchase this class and these live sessions. After those 4 live sessions are over, if you want to stick around and trade live with us, then you have the option to join us in the SPX room. Okay. Yeah, the value area, of course, that's a process, right, Grok? It's not we don't necessarily use the like fair value gap and stuff like that, but I mean, that is a process or a way to trade SPX. Pamela, if you already answered this, can I only have the trendy edges and successfully trade 0 DTE on my own after your class, or would I need all the trendy indicators? Pam, so let me tell you, you don't need any indicators, I believe, honestly, but indicators make our trading more convenient, right? I don't believe the indicators are what makes us a good trader. They make our trading more convenient. So, do you have to have all of the trendy indicators to trade successfully? I will say no. But do they make my trading more convenient? Yes. So, you're going if you sign up for the class, you're gonna get the trendy edges. These when I was asked, which one of the trendy indicators would be the most valuable to include in the package, because at Simpler, we love to give gifts and be generous with what we provide to our traders when they sign up for a class. And so I said, without a doubt, the trendy edges would be the most valuable if they could only have one of the trendy indicators. All right. So the answer is yes, absolutely. You can trade it without having all the indicators. Mary Jane, will I share how my screen is set up? So my screen, I'll give you an example, like of a SPX daily blueprint that we traded off of today. As a matter of fact, here it is. Today's price action looked like this. This was a buy zone. There was a sell zone up here. We hit it. I took it off. This is what we use for an end of day trade. I put on in the last 30 minutes of the day. I put a sell zone and a buy zone on the chart. And in the last 30 minutes of the day, if you want to take an end of day trade, this is where you look to buy puts and this is where you look to buy calls. So this is the um, blueprint for today. And you can see buy in the dip in the buy zone. Actually, the sell zone was up here. It provided a great opportunity there as well. But yeah, that's what the daily blueprint looks like. Michael, what room do we go into? Do you mean for the class tomorrow, Michael? If so, then the answer is going to be the classroom on your dashboard. Okay. you will see the SPX classroom on your dashboard. What other indicators do I use with this strategy, Lee? So I use the trendy indicators. That would be the trendy edges, of course, that comes with this class. This is a trendy EMA cloud. The EMA cloud, we use the 9, 13, 22, and 44 EMAs, but it also prints these buy arrows. It's what gives me the candle colors, these daily trend labels, things like that. So I have the cloud indicator, of course, the edges indicator that come with this package. I use the trendy PMZ indicator, basically just the trendy indicators is what is on my charts every single day. But basically, it's an EMA cloud, a pre market zone, and the edges. We also have trendy turn signals. These are telling us potential momentum shift to the downside, potential momentum shift to the upside. The squeeze that you see down here, this is the TTM Squeeze Pro, simpler Squeeze Pro. I have been trading with the Squeeze Pro for many years. It is on all of my charts. I love it. So that's on my charts. But as far as trading the process, I'm going to teach you how you can trade it without having those indicators because we're going to use free things like Fibonacci's, right? That's a free tool on TOS and most trading platforms. Okay. Yes, Froggy. The recording of this live session will be available right after we get off. What prompted me to enter the GC trade when I had the yearly edge right above? I was simply trading the momentum. Gold has been in a uptrend for quite some time. And when I get an opportunity to buy a dip on gold, especially at a lower weekly edge, I'm going for it. Even with an upper yearly edge right here. Yep. Can trades be set up pre-market rather than needing to monitor all chart or monitor charts all day? So, Kevin, you can absolutely do that. When I was trading SPX for income, I was in front of the charts, but I'm going to teach you how to find buy zones and sell zones and when to be a buyer and a seller. So, if you can't be in front of the charts, guess what? So these would be my zones for next week. I'm just going to tell you. This would be the buy zone for next week, and this would be the sell zone for next week. And if you can't be in front of the charts, then as long as you're good with the risk on the trade, right? So this risk would be about 17 points. This risk would be about 10. As long as you're okay with the risk on the trade, you can set the trades up ahead of time and you don't have to be in front of your charts. I'm going to teach you how to find buy and sell zones, how to find targets, all of that in the class. Okay. Yep. Yep. Live indicator install session happened today. If you, of course, buy the class and get those indicators now, the recording for that session is available to you. So you can get the indicators loaded on your charts before class tomorrow. Is there a difference between the SPX room and the regular trading room? Jerry, I'm assuming you're talking about the trendy room. And the difference is this, Jerry. Both rooms, we trade trendy methodology in both rooms. The difference is the SPX room is focused on SPX trading, and the trendy room is focused on everything else. Okay. RT, yeah. So it doesn't matter if you're trading futures or um, SPX, right? It's still the same process, regardless of what instrument you're trading. So, yes, you can take what I will teach in the class and you can apply the same methodology to it, and so this was a buy zone today on the ES futures chart, which John and myself share futures charts in both the SPX room and the trendy room all day long, with the daily blueprints on them. But this was a buy zone on ES today, and it worked beautifully. So, yeah. Melissa, I have installed the indicator. Can I send an email to support with a screenshot and questions? So we will not be doing indicator tech type things in the class, but you can watch the video. And if that doesn't answer your question, then yeah, you can talk to customer support. Jim as asking, will we use credit spreads? Jim, I personally am a directional trader, so I buy calls and I buy puts. But can you take this system and sell credit? Absolutely. I mean, like, look, yesterday, I believe it was a perfect day to sell credit. And just based on the levels that were on my chart, and we talked about it ahead of time in the SPX room, right? But the zones were very close together, and it made it pretty obvious it was going to be a choppy day, and that's when you would want to sell credit. So yeah, if you are familiar with selling credit and that whole strategy, can you use this process to take advantage of selling credit? Absolutely. I personally do not. I just trade and puts, but many, many, many people that trade alongside of me absolutely are selling credit. How long am I usually in trades, Bill? Honestly, these trades that I scalp, I'm in them sometimes less than 2 minutes. So they're pretty quick. I can't say for sure, obviously, right, Bill? But whenever I was trading and my profit goal was $500 a day, I might be in a trade for a couple of minutes, then out of a trade, wait for price to come to a zone, get my confirmation, get in another trade, be in it for 5 minutes, hit my profit target, and walk away. Okay. Over the trade you have made, what is the average risk per trade and average PL per trade? I will just tell you this, and we'll talk about it in the class in detail. I will not take a trade that the risk is more than the reward. Period. It don't happen. And I consider the reward my first profit target. Okay? Ron, yep, you just signed up. Trendy edges can be used on Thinkorswim, and if you check under your indicators, there will be a video that you can watch. It's also in the classroom, I believe. Oh, thanks, Lorna. Class time tomorrow is 12 o'clock Central, 12 to 4. Oh, Lorna, you're doing so good asking, answering all these. Awesome. KMB, can I trade without any indicators? Oh, yeah. I have showed that many, many times. that I can trade without any indicators. But remember, you're going to get the trendy edges indicator. And in the class, I am going to show you how you, if you, all you have, because I know every one of you that's in the class will have the trendy edges indicator. Okay. I'm going to teach you how to build all those things, your buy zones, your sell zones, your targets, all of that, right? I'm going to teach you how to do that without any other indicators unless they are free on Toss or Thinkorswim. Okay? Janet, I put buy and sell zones manually each day. Yes, but you don't have to if you want to use the trendy edges, but I'm going to teach you how to find those buy and sell zones. Um, if you don't see the zones themselves after you install the indicator, and I'm sure that this was probably covered in the class or the install class, but what you need to do is go edit your trendy edge and turn this cloud to yes. Okay. I don't have mine set to yes, but that's going to give you zones. All right. I don't because it makes my chart to, and I manually find them. Okay. All right. Let's see. What did you say gives the candles color, Janet? It's obviously encoding and it's a proprietary indicator, but it's part of the trendy cloud or the trendy band indicator, and it has to do with several things, one of which being EMA crosses. All right. All right. All right. What time frames do I trade off of? For intraday trading, I'm using either a 5-minute or a 15-minute chart, and I use 3-minute charts for my confirmation. Uh, yes, KMB, it's open for everyone that signs up. Doc, yep, Lorna answered that. Yeah. Kenneth, there was. I'm sure Lorna probably answered that. There was. It was today, but the recording is available already. Alfredo, call customer support to get the discount if you already have the indicator. Is a class and methodology easy for beginners to understand and follow? I believe I have yes, I believe I have a gift for teaching in a way that is easy for beginning traders to understand. All right, and I am one of the most patient people you'll meet to answer your questions. Uh West Star, if you already have the indicators, go ahead and give customer support a call now. Okay, I would just do it now. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you for those kind words. I think that's Dawn. Is that Dawn? Dawn, is that you? Looks like your picture. Thank you for that. All right, guys, I got through all of the questions, I believe. If I missed your question, I promise it wasn't on purpose. But thank you once again for joining me for the Q&A session. I am very, very excited. I got to tell you, this is actually my very first class. Oh, it's Kim. Sorry, Kim. It looked like Dawn. Um, this is my very first class to teach all on my own at Simpler Trading. So I'm very excited for that. Now, in my past life, I was a teacher, so I think I got it covered. But I am very, very excited to have this opportunity, and I'm thankful for everyone around me for supporting me. And I look forward to seeing all of you in the class because it is going to be amazing. I am not promising you profits. What I'm promising you is that I am going to teach you the system and the process that I used to support my family when my husband was without a job for 8 months. Okay? And I am going to walk beside you every step of the way, making sure that I instill this process into your brain so that you can use it not only to trade SPX, but anything else you might love to trade. All right. I will see all of you tomorrow, 12 o'clock Central. Get on the phone, get your class ordered, join us for the class. I hope you sign up for those live trading sessions because honestly, they're invaluable. All right. Y'all have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow.